Welcome to Grit Channel. Anunnaki, Episode 5, Genetic Engineering and Creation of Humans. Enki and the Clay People, DNA Manipulation Claims, and Modern Genetic Parallels. Introduction. In the ancient Sumerian texts, a remarkable narrative emerges, one where gods not only walk among humans, but also create them. At the heart of these accounts lies Enki, a powerful deity of wisdom, water, and creation, who is said to have played a vital role in forming humankind. The idea that humanity was genetically engineered by the Anunnaki to serve a higher purpose has intrigued researchers, authors, and ancient astronaut theorists for decades. Could there be a hidden truth beneath these ancient stories? And is it possible that our origins are not solely a result of natural evolution, but rather an ancient experiment? Enki and the Clay People. Sumerian myths speak of a time when the Anunnaki, those who came from the heavens, lived on earth. These divine beings, tasked with mining gold and other resources, grew tired of the physical labor. Their rebellion prompted the higher gods to find a solution, and Enki stepped forward. According to the myth, Enki proposed creating a new being to take over the laborious tasks. Working alongside the mother goddess Ninhursag, also known as Ninmah, Enki combined the essence of a god with the substance of earth, often referred to as clay in the texts. From this union, the first human was born. This creation myth is recorded in several Sumerian and Akkadian tablets, including the Atrahasis epic and the Enki and Ninmah myth. These tablets describe how the gods fashioned humans from clay mixed with the blood of a slain god, imbuing them with divine essence. Symbolically, clay may have represented raw earthly materials, like organic life, while the blood of the gods could have indicated genetic material. The first humans were said to be crude and imperfect, requiring multiple attempts before the final version was acceptable. This detail closely mirrors modern genetic experimentation, where trial and error is integral to achieving a successful outcome. DNA manipulation claims. Ancient astronaut theorists argue that these stories are not mere myths, but accounts of real events. Highly advanced beings manipulating early hominid DNA to create modern humans. This theory rests on the idea that Sumerians, with their advanced astronomical and mathematical knowledge, could not have developed such knowledge independently so early in human history. Instead, they may have inherited this knowledge from their creators. Key claims of DNA manipulation by the Anunnaki. 1. Homo sapiens as a hybrid species. According to Zacharias Sitchin, the foremost proponent of the ancient astronaut theory, the Anunnaki used genetic engineering to merge their own DNA with that of early hominids, like Homo erectus, thus giving rise to Homo sapiens. The goal? To create intelligent laborers capable of mining, building, and following instructions. 2. Mitochondrial evidence. Some fringe researchers cite mitochondrial DNA studies that show a sudden evolutionary leap in human intelligence and physicality around 200,000 years ago. They argue that such a leap might not have occurred through natural selection alone, suggesting possible external intervention. 3. Chromosome 2 fusion. Humans have 23 pairs of chromosomes, while most great apes have 24. Human chromosome 2 is known to be a fusion of two ancestral chromosomes. While mainstream science explains this as a random mutation, theorists speculate that this fusion could be evidence of deliberate genetic tampering. 4. Junk DNA theory. Nearly 98% of human DNA does not code for proteins and was historically called junk DNA. Ancient astronaut proponents suggest this non-coding DNA might include suppressed capabilities or leftover sequences from genetic programming by the Anunnaki. Ancient texts and genetic symbolism. In multiple Sumerian and Akkadian myths, references to essence, life force, and spirit of the gods are often repeated during descriptions of creation. Scholars and theorists interpret these references as symbolic representations of DNA or genetic instructions. For instance, in the tale of Enki and Ninmah, humans are created in a laboratory-like setting using birth goddesses or incubation chambers, perhaps analogous to artificial wombs or genetic engineering environments. Descriptions of tools and rituals used during these creations could be metaphorical translations of scientific processes that the ancient scribes struggled to interpret. Even the biblical story of Adam and Eve may echo these Sumerian origins. The idea of humans being fashioned from clay and given life by a divine breath could be remnants of a much older Sumerian creation myth, one that describes not spiritual awakening, but literal genetic engineering. Modern genetic parallels. Let's consider what modern science has made possible. 1. CRISPR and gene editing. Today, scientists can alter the genetic code of organisms using CRISPR technology. This allows for precise editing of DNA to enhance or suppress certain traits. If we can do this today, is it so unthinkable that a far advanced civilization may have done it hundreds of thousands of years ago? 2. Cloning and synthetic biology. We've already cloned animals and are on the cusp of creating synthetic organisms. Laboratories around the world are growing organs and even embryos in artificial wombs. What we call futuristic today might have been common knowledge to a spacefaring civilization like the Anunnaki. 3. Human-machine integration. Projects like Neuralink are working toward integrating AI with the human brain. It's possible that ancient, godlike beings appeared omniscient or supernatural not because of divinity, but because of advanced technological integration. 4. Unexplainable genetic gaps. Scientists still struggle to explain the cognitive leap from Neanderthal intelligence to modern Homo sapiens abstract thinking, language, and culture. Could this be the result of an intervention rather than a slow, evolutionary crawl? Ethical implications. If the Anunnaki indeed created humans through genetic manipulation, what does that say about the sanctity of life? Are we a manufactured species designed to serve our creators? Or did we evolve beyond their expectations? This line of thought leads to deep philosophical questions. Do we have free will, or are we programmed? Is divinity a matter of biology and science? Could modern science repeat this cycle and create a new species? Many myths warn against humans reaching for godhood, symbolized by the story of the Tower of Babel or the fall from Eden. Could these stories be allegories for past genetic overreach, or warnings from a previous cycle of creators? Scientific community's view. It is important to note that mainstream science strongly rejects the Anunnaki genetic engineering theory. Evolution, natural selection, and fossil records provide a comprehensive and evidence-based explanation of human origins. Fossil evidence. Clear fossil transitions from Australopithecus to Homo sapiens exist despite some gaps. Genetic continuity. Human DNA is 98 to 99% similar to chimpanzees, and patterns of variation support evolutionary development rather than outside intervention. No physical artifacts. No direct evidence of Anunnaki laboratories, tools, or spacecraft has been unearthed, though ancient temples and ziggurats often fuel speculation. However, ancient astronaut theorists argue that absence of evidence is not evidence of absence, especially if the Anunnaki left intentionally few traces. Conclusion. The story of Enki and the Clay People, when viewed through the lens of modern science and ancient astronaut theory, offers a tantalizing possibility that humans were not only created by higher beings, but were engineered for a purpose. The Sumerian myths may preserve fragments of truth, heavily layered in metaphor and symbolism, that speak of advanced genetic science. Whether you believe humanity was sculpted by divine hands, engineered in extraterrestrial labs, or born through the dance of evolution, one thing remains clear. The question of our origins is far from settled. The Anunnaki narrative forces us to look at human history not just as a biological journey, but as a mystery still unfolding, where myth and science may eventually meet. See you in the next episode. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe this channel for next video. Bye-bye.